them to attack the Serbs, used them to attack the Russians, used them to take the fall for attacking the U.S. You're like, well, what does al-Qaeda get? Well, the bin Laden family had their U.S. government contracts tripled through the Carlyle Group and other systems the year after 9/11. Tripled. The number I saw was they made an extra $4 billion in U.S. government military contracts. The bin Laden construction builds almost every U.S. military base in the Middle East and Central Asia. And the London Guardian reported the head of the bin Laden family and George Herbert Walker Bush were at breakfast the morning of 9/11 at the same table at a Carlyle Group luncheon in D.C. And then, of course, for 3 days, air traffic was grounded for 2.5 days, and only the bin Laden flights, more than 15, were allowed to go all over the U.S., pick people up with U.S. government guarding them, and, you know, FBI to tell locals, no, you let them go. Roger, Roger, you know, these are the bosses, and get them on those aircraft, including bin Laden's brother, bin Laden's sister, get them out. Get them out. Bin Laden family hanging out with the president, former president. And again, these are real articles. This is Miami Herald. This is London Guardian. This is all happening. We've got Forbes, Representative Marsha Blackburn. I want to try to get her on. The TSA is coming to a highway near you, and she's freaking out, saying they're in Tennessee running checkpoints, and she says they're not sworn law enforcement, and the feds are out of their jurisdiction, and she wants it stopped. And she first grovels to regular police and military for a couple pages to say, look, I want to say I'm not criticizing good law enforcement and real law enforcement. These are basically pot-bellied thugs. And she's right. Government created that because the police have been trained to know there's a Bill of Rights and Constitution and they can't stick their hands down your pants. So you create a brown shirt group like Hitler did. Stalin did the same thing, of a new group of thugs who were so stupid they'll follow any order and sit there in front of microwave ovens frying. But, I mean, it's all coming out. I mean, they're in Dallas. They're everywhere. And let me tell you, they are doing the genital grope on the highway. They're pulling you out and doing a little gropey there. And that's my line in the sand. You crazy authoritarian jackboot people trying to break our will and beta test tyranny. Okay, I haven't even scratched the surface. But I'm going to get into the Andrew Breitbart situation on the other side. And it's funny, I never thought to get him on the show, and we were lining him up for the show about 3 weeks ago, and it was going to happen. And he's dead. So that link up, I guess, won't happen. I guess I need to try to get whoever's over there in charge now on the show. A little over a year ago, I began to do... At age 43, Andrew Breitbart, 1969 to 2012, dead. Now, you read the LA Times, it's got the latest info, and it says, well, it's natural causes, but the case is ongoing, and they don't know why he died. But maybe it was his heart. Well, that isn't case closed, dead of natural causes. They don't know yet. I know the law, the medical examiner, the coroner has to at least come and sign off on that, and they've not signed off yet. So that's suspicious right there, that out of the gates, Pulitzer Prize winner, coming out with a new book, exposing government drug dealing, Gary Webb shoots himself twice in the head, and within hours of it coming out, it's open and shut. The police say he committed suicide. Open and shut with the D.C. madam who said she was being followed and being threatened. I called and talked to the condo manager where she lived for over a decade. He sent me her lease and said that's not her handwriting on the news. And it wasn't. It wasn't even close. I mean, wild. If I'm found hanging in a shed, folks, and the handwriting doesn't even look like me, doesn't even look like my handwriting, for heaven's sakes, I want multiple autopsies. I will not commit suicide, and I'm not having a heart attack. I'm in great shape. There's not a big history of heart stuff in my family or cancer or any of it. We're very long-lived, very long-lived. The women routinely live to 103, 105. The men in their 90s. Get it straight. Get it straight. Nothing's happening to me, okay? If I get struck by a bolt of lightning, if a car veers off and runs me over, I want an investigation. I get death threats all the time. You know, Mancow, Eric Muller sent me IMs this morning, going, you're next, buddy. Yeah, well, that's not funny, man, Cal. And I don't think he's joking. He's pretty freaked out. He knew Andrew Breitbart pretty good and, you know, said he was a great guy. I kept saying, you ought to get him on. So we were just calling him, and it looked like it was going to happen. And now he's dead. And I should have worked harder to get him on. Incredible. When we come back from break, I'm going to play the clip that really adds fuel to the fire that this should be further investigated. And he may have died at 43 of something. Heart attack, whatever. That may be the case. Monkeys might fly out of my posterior any moment, too. My gut says this stinks to high heaven. You know why? Because he's somebody who's proven that he was real and that he was having an effect against Obama, and he brought down more than anybody and put the news and gave the investigators the funding and the forum to break Acorn and their crimes and to shut down a multi-billion-dollar-a-year scam funding big city Democratic Party mafia-style takeover. Chicago all over. These are mafia organizations. And he said he was coming out with big investigations on the organized crime, the communist connections, and film of Obama in college and who he really was in college. He'd put that in text reports and given speeches. We've got the video, all of it in an article. If you're a radio listener, go get it. Will damning Obama footage be released after Breitbart's death? Will it be released? Will it be released? And then you read the LA Times. Andrew Breitbart dead at 43 of natural causes at UCLA Hospital. Conservative writer and website publisher Andrew Breitbart died of natural causes at Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center about midnight, sources told the Times. Okay, the exact cause of death was unclear, and the sources have spoken condition of anonymity because the case was ongoing. It's also unclear if he was stricken. So he died on the Ides of March, folks, March 1st. It's also unclear if he was stricken at the hospital or another location. Oh, but it's open and shut, even though you've got to have the coroner medical examiner sign off. I mean, I was there when my buddy at 33 died. He went into the doctor, had a minor surgery, got a infection in these dangerous hospitals. One of the biggest causes of death. Hundreds of thousands a year die from that. Swept through his body. All his organs failed in one day. They had him on a respirator so his dad could get down here from Dallas. I was there saying, you know, they were giving him adrenaline trying to keep him alive. He was on a respirator. I could see the life of his eyes. And I said, you got to fight. And he was fighting. And then his eyes blurred out and he died a couple hours later. They had to wait like 5-6 hours for the medical examiner to come in, talk to the nurses. Okay, this is what it was, blood poisoning. Oh, no, but with him, oh, we can't say what it was, but it's natural. Hey, if I'm out walking around at 38 years old or 43 a few years from now, and I drop dead, and they've got articles out now where saying it's completely natural, don't look here, you got a problem. Now, I'm not saying he didn't fall down and something bad happened and go to the hospital and then complications, whatever. But this stinks to high heaven. I'm going to talk more about it, why they may have wanted to kill him, and play that video and audio straight ahead. It's all at Infowars.com. Kurt Nimmo's got an article on it as well.
We're on the march.
All right, we are back live here today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Will damning Obama footage still be released after Breitbart's death? Video of young Obama threatened to sink 2012 campaign. And this is when you get killed. You don't generally get killed for just criticizing the establishment and attacking their policies. But if you've got smoking gun evidence of crimes, if you've got smoking gun evidence of prostitutes top politicians have visited, if you've got smoking gun evidence of drug dealing, if you've got smoking gun evidence of stuff like Fast and Furious, that it looks like Congressman Giffords did have, and Judge Roll. And I've actually talked to some high-level people behind the scenes on this subject via the tips we were given by Wayne Madsen a few months ago. That is the case. If you have smoking gun stuff that will take down the system, they will kill you. And we would have to be fools to not go? I don't know. A couple weeks ago, he comes out and says, I'm going to vet Obama. I'm going to prove who he is. I've got footage. I've got damning evidence. I know about his connections to communists and others. I'm going to, get him in this campaign. This guy's a radical. He's dangerous. Folks, controlling the presidency is about trillions of dollars a year that you can give to mega banks, to front company, energy companies, to groups like Acorn. This is about trillions of dollars of budgets given to insiders. Do you think they'll kill somebody? They'll invade whole countries and kill over 1 million people for the oil and for no-bid contracts and for the opium. Do you think they'd kill him? I mean, they're saying he's walking around, he collapses, and I went and looked it up this morning when I got up at about 6 a.m. and started getting calls and instant messages on my phone about this and emails. I went and looked it up. Within a couple hours of him being at the hospital, it was already in the LA Times and news that it's totally natural. We don't know why he died, but it's natural. Nothing to see here. Move along. Now, if they came out and said, we don't know why he's dead, we're going to look at it, I would say, okay, maybe he died of something. Maybe an infection, maybe a heart attack. But the fact that they were immediate, folks, within hours of the D.C. madam hanging herself, they said, oh, suicide note, oh, she killed herself, oh, and then some guy came out of the woodwork, there was no proof she ever knew, saying, oh, she told me she was going to kill herself. Really, she told me on air she would never kill herself, and then that she was being followed off air, she told me that, and then I talked to her apartment manager, condo manager she was friends with, on record, had him on the show, and he said she was being followed and threatened and was scared and was getting documents to her mother for safekeeping and then was found dead in the shed at Mommy's. They murdered the D.C. madam. Even Fox News said she may have been murdered and had me on to cover it on Geraldo Rivera's show of all places. And he agreed. It was suspicious. Now, I don't know what happened to Andrew Breitbart. I don't know. And they're saying, well, he might have had some heart issues before. Whatever. 43, dead, and out of the gates, they say nothing to see here, move along. Now, what did I say 3 weeks ago? And I'm actually got our limited crew trying to dig it up. Remember, for like a whole week, I said, they're blackmailing Rupert Murdoch. I said it on a Sunday show, a Monday show, and like a Thursday show. I mean, it was like 2-3 weeks ago. I guess about 3 weeks ago. And I said, they're blackmailing Rupert Murdoch. They've already arrested 8 more people. They're using this to make them back off Fast and Furious and have News Corps come out and tell all their hosts, and I've talked to people behind the scenes, back off Obama. Soros wins. Media Matters wins. Anybody talking about the New World Order is fired. Media Matters had called for Judge Andrew Napolitano's firing. It happened. They called for it because he'd come on my show and other issues. And because he was talking about Ron Paul being the real front runner, he's gone. And he's not the guy I talked to behind the scenes. I talked to a couple other people. The point is I said, you watch, they may even indict Rupert Murdoch or his son, and you may start seeing media people getting indicted, getting set up, getting arrested, or dying. And I said on that show, if something starts happening to the real alternative media, and I even said in one of those shows, people like Breitbart, people like Drudge, people like Buchanan, people like myself. You notice Buchanan got fired, even though he's one of the most popular people on MSNBC. And he said he was told, shut up, don't be anti-war, shut up, don't be anti-Patriot Act, shut up, don't be anti-NDAA, shut up, don't be anti-Obama. And so for 6 months, he couldn't go on air because he wouldn't compromise and shut up. So he was off the air for 6 months, still being paid. Contract's up. You're gone, Pat Buchanan. Get out of here. You're gone, Judge Napolitano. See, I know what's going on behind the scenes. I talk to people, and I know how this works. So let me give you some news. Fox News pundits have been told